Hi, I'm Belinda, and this is What on Earth Happened to? It's a series of videos I'm making about our urban nature in Sydney, whether it's leaving us or if we can bring it back again. I'm making these videos because over my lifetime in Sydney, I've noticed a lot of changes for the worse in my natural environment, and I feel like we're losing too much.
So let's go back into my past. When I was a kid, I grew up in quite an inner built-up part of Sydney, not far from the airport. And in my memories, I was surrounded by cicadas and butterflies, small birds, blue-tongued lizards. But now, my kids living in Sydney hardly know what some of these creatures are. We really don't see them anymore. So in this series, I'm looking at aspects of our urban ecology to find out whether they're declining and to understand if there's anything that we can do to stop this decline and, if possible, to help them come back and thrive. So when I'm talking about ecology, what do I mean? So ecology is the study of how living organisms interact with each other. So the relationships between plants and animals and microorganisms and humans. And then how they interact with their physical environment as well. So with the climate, with landforms and soils, with water in the environment, and also with the built environment. And so what then is urban ecology? Well, it's the same thing happening in cities and towns. Now, cities are really hard places for natural environments and for native species to live. And we know that typically nature is really impacted in our cities. But we also know that urban ecologists report that they can find surprisingly many things in city environments. And as one academic, Catherine Evans, has said, urbanisation doesn't destroy nature, but instead it reforms it. And it produces a changed but a still functioning kind of new urban nature. So when we think of nature in cities, we often think of parks and areas of remnant native bush, but we should also think beyond that to include everything in the city. So you can see it's what's living in the trees planted in our streets. It's what's living in our grassy roadside verges. It's the habitat we create in our gardens and on our balconies. And it's the environments in our unused places and in our kind of forgotten edges. And you know why urban ecology is so important for us? Right now, about 50% of the world's population lives in cities. And by around 2050, so just 30 years' time, it will be 70%. So our cities need to be places where we can thrive, where we can have a sense of well-being, places that are healthy and sustainable, resilient. And they're the places where most people will experience and connect with nature in the day-to-day. So we need to know what makes them tick.
In upcoming videos, I'm going to be looking at some specific aspects of urban nature in Sydney, including cicadas and wetlands, and I'll be looking at how they're faring and what we can do to help them survive and thrive in Sydney. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Until next time.